reading story for this week. We have our words that are going to be in our story. Number 1, learning. If we take off the ing ending, we see learn when you are just beginning and finding out how to do something. And then we can take that word and put ing says ing on the end, and we get learning. This baby giraffe is learning how to walk. Go down below to number 2. There's a little word inside a bigger word, begins. That's at the start of something. The lion cub begins to get stronger. Number 3, a little word part, until. Put them together to get until. These owls can't fly until they are older. A number word, very tricky, E-I-G-H-T. This is the number 8. The 8 little swans go for a swim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 5, young, Y-O-U-N-G, young, the opposite of old. The young hippo will be very big soon. Number 6, follow. The bear cubs follow their mother. Number 7, years. An elephant can live for 70 years. And number 8, baby, B-A-B-Y. This panda baby is eating plants. So in each of these words here, we heard a sentence about an animal, most usually a baby animal or a young animal. Let's see what that has to do with our story this week. Growing up. Many baby animals need help until they grow older. Young animals are learning as they follow their mothers around. A baby elephant may stay with its mother for many years. A kitten begins to care for itself before it is 8 weeks old. So this chart shows us animals and their babies. The cat is the grown-up and the kitten is the baby. Bear is the grown-up, cub is the baby. Elephant is the grown-up, calf is the baby. Duck is the grown-up, duckling is the baby. In the story, we are going to talk about details. Those are the different things that happen in our story, and a conclusion. So what we think from those details, what those details tell us about. Our story is called Amazing Animals. It is by Gwendolyn Hooks. This lady is Gwendolyn Hooks right here. She wrote this story because she loves animals. This story is about wild animals, she explains. I don't own any wild animals, but I do have a pet cat. That's what she says about this story. This story doesn't have an illustrator because it uses real pictures, photographs taken with a camera. All right, so listen as the computer reads to you.
Animals get a lot of help as they grow up. Let's find out about 8 amazing animals. Big eyes, long beak, thick fur, big squeak, polar bear. A polar bear has thick fur. Each hair is like a tube. The hair has no color, like glass. The sun makes it look white. How does thick, white fur help?
So they ended this page with a question asking us, how does thick white fur help a polar bear? Think about where polar bears live and what the weather is like there. Why do animals that live in that place need thick fur? And why is it helpful that their fur is white? Think for a moment. And let's find out.
Thick fur helps polar bears stay warm. The color of their fur looks the same as snow. This helps them hide. Where does this cute young polar bear like to hide? Ella.
Okay, so they need the thick white fur because they live in a place where there's lots of snow and ice. The white coloring helps them blend in or camouflage, so that helps them stay safe from their enemies or any predators. The thick fur also keeps them warm. They are in a cold place, so that it helps their bodies stay warm. All right, let's hear about elephants.
Elephant. An elephant has a long nose. The nose is called a trunk. It takes many years for an elephant to grow 2 big teeth. These teeth are called tusks. How do tusks and a trunk help?
So think about the elephant. It has this long trunk and it has tusks. How do they use them? How does that help the elephant?
Elephants use their tusks to scrape bark off trees. Then they eat the bark. These elephants are learning to use their trunks to get water. Sometimes they will spray water at a friend.
So the tusks help them get food. They scrape the trees with them, and they are also able to get water. They use that water to clean themselves and to drink.
Camel. Some camels have 1 hump. Some have 2. All camels have 2 rows of eyelashes. How do humps and thick eyelashes help?
Think about where a camel lives. What is it like in these places where camels live? Why would they need humps on their body and 2 rows of eyelashes? Eyelashes are those little hairs that are around the eyes. People have them also.
A camel's hump has fat inside. On long trips, a camel's body uses the fat for food. A camel's eyelashes keep out the desert sand. This baby camel will follow his mother when the herd goes from place to place.
So the camels live in places where it is sandy. There's lots of sand in the desert. It can also be very, very windy there. And if you've ever been to the beach in the summertime and gotten sand in your eyes, you know how much that hurts. So you can see, I'm not sure how close I can get there without it going blurry, that the eyelashes, those hairs around the eyes, help keep the sand out of the camel's eyes. The humps on the camel are how its body stores energy and fat to keep it alive. In the desert, you might go for a long, long time before there's any plants growing or water for the animals to drink or eat. So when a camel does drink or eat, its body takes all of that food and water and changes it into fat. Then its body is able to live off that fat while it is traveling through the desert. So it shows the baby camel following the mom and learning how to do all the things that it needs to do to live in the desert.
A duck is a bird. It has 2 feet and each foot has 3 toes. A duck has a beak too. How do feet and a beak help?
Look at where the duck is. What does it need? Its feet like this. The feet have skin between the toes. It's called webbing. And why would it need a longer beak like this? Think about what ducks do, where they live.
Ducks use their feet to swim in the water or walk on land. They use their beaks to eat plants and bugs. Look, this duck uses her beak to clean her friend. Giraffe.
So you can see here with the ducks, they are in places where there's grass and they eat the bugs that are down there. So their beak can peck down into the grass and find those bugs that they need to eat. Ducks are also animals that walk on the land, so that's what they need their feet for, but they swim too. They're not like fish, staying underwater all the time, so they use their feet when they're in the water, that webbing on their feet, to help them get through the water. So they use that for both. The baby ducks are learning how to find bugs and keep each other clean in this picture.
A giraffe has spots. A giraffe has a long neck. How do spots and a long neck help?
Think about a giraffe. Why would it need spots on its body? Why would it need a long neck? If you look at the picture, you can see what it's using its long neck for.
A giraffe's spots help it hide. A giraffe's long neck helps it reach the leaves of trees. This giraffe's long neck helps her reach her baby. She gives him a big kiss. Porcupine. A porcupine has soft quills when it is born. The quills get sharp in a day or two. How do quills help?
So the quills on the porcupine are normally what these pokey things are that stick up all over its body. Now it tells us that when it's a baby, they're not pokey, they're soft, but they get sharp a day or two after the porcupine is born. What would a porcupine need sharp, pokey things for? What would it need quills for?
Quills help keep a porcupine safe. If an animal begins to come too close, the porcupine backs into it. The sharp quills hurt. Quills tell this cub to stay away.
So if we look at the picture, it shows us that when a predator comes near the porcupine, that's an animal that wants to hunt it or hurt it, it sticks up its quills and backs up into it. So that will hurt that other animal. That is the porcupine's way of protecting itself. Think about when you are near something that's sharp or pokey. You want to stay away. The same thing happens with an animal that's coming near a porcupine. They will learn to stay away, and maybe the porcupine won't get eaten.
Turtle. A turtle has a shell that is very hard. How does a hard shell help?
So the shell on the turtle's back here is hard. The turtle can pull its head and its legs inside of the shell. How does that help a turtle?
A turtle can hide inside its shell from an animal that may hurt it. The turtle waits until the animal goes away. Then the turtle comes back out. You're safe now, turtle.
So when the turtle hides inside of its shell, number one, another animal might not notice it. It might blend in by looking like a rock or something else. And number two, another animal might not be able to bite into it or scratch the turtle. The shell protects it.
Dolphin. A dolphin's tail has two parts called flukes. A dolphin has two flippers. How do tail flukes and flippers help?
Think about where a dolphin lives. A dolphin stays in the water. It does breathe air. It has a blowhole on the top of its head, so that's why you see a dolphin come up and get a quick breath of air and go right back down. But it does stay in the water. So having tail flukes and flippers, what would a dolphin use those things for?
A dolphin flips its tail flukes up and down to swim fast. It uses its flippers to turn to the left or right These two dolphins swim away fast. Who will be first? Have fun, dolphins!
Okay, so all through this story, we heard about some amazing animals, some different things that animals do, and what is so special about them. In your journal writing this week, you have 4 different topics that tell about, or 4 different things to tell about animals. You can pick 2 or 3 things to write about, or if you want to do a topic on your own that tells about animals, that's fine too. But if you want to go back and listen to the story again, you can, and that might give you some ideas of some things to write about.